Hey, how you doing? Today we're doing another Bitcoin update because we are getting a volatility. Bitcoin is not above 38k anymore, and we're going to discuss what has happened and why we are getting this corrective motion while people slowly started to become bullish again. So that's what we're going to discuss in this short update. But before we're going to continue, make sure to subscribe beneath, make sure to like me, or no, well, not like me, but like on YouTube. Make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram as well, as that is where I post daily content on the markets. And when we're discussing the markets, we had a beautiful bounce from mid 32k after the CME gap, close towards 39 or close to 39, in which we've reversed that trend today. Why were we actually bouncing? Well, the dollar has been showing some weakness after it has been surging heavily, and because of that weakness, the markets that were risk on, which were the indices and Bitcoin for instance, have been seeing some strength upwards. However, during the entire run of Bitcoin, we've actually not been seeing too much strength, as Bitcoin has been fading down with the volume, not indicating that we were actually having a very strong push upwards anymore. So that resulted into this correction today. And that correction means some things. It means that we can have a longer period of accumulation. It means that we rejected at the first test of a resistance zone, and those resistance zones are usually where people will be starting to sell their positions to de-risk. So it's a pretty normal reaction from Bitcoin at this stance. What it also says is that you have time to actually start accumulating your positions before the next run starts to happen. Most likely we're going to have some lower tests to confirm that buyers are stepping in and can have a bottom formation out of that. And that is just the process of the markets, and you can't really play it differently than the market is going to do so. In that case, we're going to discuss the markets, or we're going to discuss the charts. And I think that if you want to start building your altcoins positions as well, or if you want to start building your Bitcoin position, we are still close to a period of surges, but we first have to test some lower levels in which the dollar can have a bounce too. So in order to continue, let's head towards the chart. So what we see on the price action of Bitcoin is it's quite simple, right? We've had this period here of action in which we were saying, hey, we've got resistance here. It's the first real reference point where players or traders will probably be stepping out of the markets if they are long, in which we had a rejection there once, we had a rejection there again, and we've got this slight breakout above the previous resistance and the test of this one again. So that happened, and we've been chopping around in this range, in which the level beneath 38.2 was the actual level that we should be holding, and we clearly were not holding there. We've also been taking the liquidity above the recent high, and we've done that twice, and that is enough liquidity to actually drop the markets again. What we also saw was the volume that was going down when we were running upwards at this stage, and that's not really a sign of strength. So the first real resistance point, that is what we have been rejecting. We have reversed the trend now as well, as we have been breaking south, and most likely we are going to have ourselves get the liquidity beneath this low in the coming days, as that is the first real level to get yourself into longs, or at least into taking the liquidity. What we all know is that this trend is reversing. So if we want to become bullish at this point, this one is the first level to break. We couldn't break through it. So in order to actually break through it again, we have to reclaim the level at 38.1. Most likely we won't, and that's why we're going to have most likely going to have those tests at 36.6 and approximately lower, and then most likely we're even going to get tests at the range low. So then when we're looking at the daily time frame, it looks to us, or looks to me, as a case where we have been rejecting levels, and where we're going to seek ourselves into the coming weeks for that bullish divergence and at least have a retest of the lows before we can start reversing. Still, anything beneath 38k or anything beneath 41k is not a sign for me to look for strength or heavy trades, unless we are going to look for a bullish divergence here, which is a confirmation of a trend that is going to reverse. We've seen that previously too, in which we had those bounces in May and June, resulting into taking liquidity and then a reversal all over again. So when we're flipping back towards the lower time frames, still choppy waters. We are looking for that scope, or at least that level that has to test for resistance at 38k. If we get there, that might be a good short opportunity itself. And then having lower tests at 36, 35.5 and 34k most likely, resulting into that bullish divergence that is going to give us that point of a bullish divergence, right? Nasdaq, I've made this chart earlier this morning in which we stated crucial levels that we have to look at when it comes to the Nasdaq. Beautiful bounce up, but it has to break through the levels at 15.2 until 15.5. And as you can see, it clearly rejected there, just as the dollar has been bouncing from a crucial level. While I'm looking at this chart, the chances are going to be there that we're going to have a reversal for Bitcoin happening relatively soon. I'm going to discuss that topic tomorrow, so definitely stay tuned. It's going to be a ultimate case of how we could be finding a bottom for the Bitcoin. But in that case, what is the dollar showing at this point? It's showing us a crucial level that it has to hold on to. It's holding there, bouncing back up, and as a reaction of that case, we see the reaction of the Bitcoin dropping south. So what is most likely going to happen right now? I think you should be relatively calm. Look for coins that can have some staking. Start accumulating slowly, as the entire range is still a big chance. Look at the dollar, what is there going to happen there, and just play it slow. Tomorrow I'll be back with a fresh new update or two. Make sure to subscribe beneath, and I'll see you again soon. And don't forget to enjoy your day. Ciao!